Hi there. This is a webinar that I did yesterday where we talked a little bit about planning out your 2024 marketing. And I kind of go through, it's about an hour, a little over an hour. I'm going to try to highlight the areas where I kind of change topics or something. I'll put that in the description. And I will also, if you're listening to this on our podcast, just go to our podcast page and I'll be sure to have all of the different downloads and the different workshops, or sorry, the different worksheets that I talk about, as well as many of the resources, the links to all the different stats that I found when it comes to the moving industry, and some projections and numbers that from different reports. So hopefully that will be helpful. And again, I hope this is this whole workshop is helpful. There's lots of great discussions back and forth, and I'm always learning as much as anybody else is when I do these. So enjoy, leave any comments that you have, any questions, happy to help, and please subscribe. Thanks so much. So I did this last December, and it really was, again, planning for 2024. The one I did before was really like looking back at 2023 and getting your stats of what you're at in terms of the revenue and your goals and all that. This time around, I switched it up just a little bit because I found some really great reports out there. I spent a good chunk of money to get a national statistics on the moving industry. So I'm going to share a little bit of that with you guys.
Awesome.
And it's not the answer, but it does give some insight as to what's going to happen this year and what the trend is looking like when it comes to this industry, as well as it kind of growing from there. So I'm going to just kind of go over that a little bit. I've even got the website with the statistics. So happy to share with you exactly where I get that number. I hate it when people spew numbers and you're like, where did you get that? Like, really?
Right.
Make it out of your head. The big picture, right? Some channels that we want to look into, maximize lead flow. I do want to help you guys set some goals. And Ed, that's one of the things I shared with you, or I don't think I've shared with you yet, is that big old spreadsheet. So we're going to go over that. We'll talk about the foundation of your marketing. Typically it's your website, a little bit about some proactive lead generations. I'm all for having your hand in many, many different places and then tracking it. So what are the things that we can do to proactively start getting more and more lead and scale those leads? Personalization and customer connection, like we just talked about, which using a tool like send out cards to automatically send out little gifts, postcards that retarget. We're going to talk about leads versus conversions. There's some, it's not confusion, but really understanding the difference between those. And then happy to have some Q&A. I've got a lot of freebies in this. There's a lot of spreadsheets and workbooks and all that good stuff. So I'm going to share all that. I'm going to share it in the chat with you guys, and feel free to just download all that. So do me a favor, just kind of turn off cell phones, Facebook chat. I get it. I do the same thing when I'm on these things, but if you can, just kind of get serious about and learning. And hopefully it's not 60 minutes. I'm going to try to get this a little faster, but it's a good recap of what to look for in 2024. So a little bit about me. I was a logistician for about 10 years with the Defense Department. I spent working with the Defense Logistics Agency, doing inventory, logistician, trucks, management of all the containers from one war to back. Worked with contractors across the country. I've done digital marketing for over 20 years. I think I'm going to stop at 20 years and just say that's it, over 20 years, because that's been a little over that. I'm a Marine wife and an Air Force daughter, so I spent pretty much my entire world life moving every 2 or 3 years. I have done every kind of move you can think of, from civilian, military, corporate, personal, alone, you name it, I've done it, been there on the other side, but I've also, again, part of the Defense Department in that world. So this is my belief. You fail to plan and you won't. So what do we got to do to make sure that we're going to be planning this whole year? If you don't think about these things, I'm not the kind of person that believes in I can't achieve goals. I like the real goals for the year, and then the 5-year massive goals. I just believe that in order to get through the year, you're going to have to give yourself some leeway. If you're going to go for 1 million or 2 million, how is that going to happen? Is that doable? Is that something you can implement now so that by December, you'll feel good to go into the year 2? So 5 years, those are those massive goals that, okay, I want to go from 1 million to 5 million in 5 years. I still get people that show up. I'm going to go from 1 million to 5 million a year. Okay, how are we going to do that? And that's when things start to fall apart. So go ahead and let's see. This is the workbook. I'm going to put this in the chat. Feel free. It should just open right up to a PDF. And this is what I'm going to be kind of working from a little bit, but it's got other tools in there. Now, this is the spreadsheet, and I'm always working on this. I just recently added the cost per lead, which I think is a really good number to know. What is your maximum cost per lead? But all of these numbers, you input this, and you'll be able to figure out yourself what your costs are going to be, what your goals are going to be, your revenue, even your budget allocations. We'll work on that. So let me get the link to that one as well. And again, it should just open up a way for you to copy this.
These are like linked, like you were saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, go ahead and just download. You can, again, copy this. You should have a Google account. It should give you the ability to copy it. If you don't have a Google account, quickly make one. But so really, this is where we start. We start off with your annual revenue goal. So if you've got a $2 million goal for the year 2024, green is the numbers when you want to add your numbers, all the things that are green. And then these are calculated. The dark grays, these are all calculated. So we start off with 2 million, and current revenue right now, let's just say it's 1 million. And so now we're looking at a 200% growth if you're going from 1 to 2. So it kind of gives you a little bit of idea what you're looking at. That means you're at 166,000 per month average. Now, one area that I'm going to go back on this is kind of work at it from when you guys have your peak time, the summers, and see if we can kind of work at it. I think the thing I have to ask and do a little bit as a survey is find out what typical growth is between your April and September. Like, how much more money do you spend during that time? And then calculate a proper monthly revenue target from January all the way to December. But this just gives you a good average, which means that means about 139 jobs are required to hit that monthly goal, which is about 5. Now, that's assuming if you come down here, you got to fill all this stuff out. If you've got a 30% conversion rate, so conversion rate meaning they've called you, you've converted them to a client. So if 100 people have called you and 30 people converted to a client, we got 30% conversion, which means I need 463 leads coming in every month in order to get to 139 booked jobs. Then we've got another number here of where's my average cost? That's the average cost. Where's my average? Oh, here it is. Sorry. Average ticket value. That's a really important number too. It could be 1,200. I've got some clients that are at 2,500 average ticket. Of course, it's all dependent where you live and the region and all, and the kind of clients that you're looking for.
The average ticket is like basically saying the average moving cost, right?
Yeah. Average
For your
moving
company that you're
ticket
charging.
value. Yeah.
Yeah.
How much you charge on average over the move. And again, taking into account apartments, residential, commercial, whatever that is, it could be 1,500, but you can see the numbers start changing. So if it's a 1,500 average, you need 111 jobs per month or averaging 4 a day. So these are just really good idea. And then over here is your marketing budget per month in order to achieve the $2 million. So there's a lot of, it really, to me, I use it for my own company. I have the same spreadsheet. So I just plug the numbers in and I try and figure out what is it that I need to get? What's my conversion rate? And how many moves are we looking at? Monthly revenue, all of that stuff gets calculated in here. Then over here is a budget allocation. So here, let's go back over here. This marketing budget per move, if you've got an 8% revenue on your percent spent on marketing of your total revenue is 8%, you could be 5%. So then your marketing budget goes down. right? So some people have a very conservative marketing budget. I've seen 3%. I've seen 10%. And you can see the marketing budget goes up and down. That same rationale comes in here when you start allocating where your money is going. So we've got a $2 million, which is literally just comes straight from this number here. And back to this percent of your monthly budget, you're looking, if you have a $2 million goal, 5%, that's conservative in most industries, even the moving industry. 8% is the rule, 5% is conservative. Again, you can go up to 15%, but you see the total marketing budget is $100,000 for 5%. Then you've got an average monthly budget of $8,333. And then you start breaking it down automatically. Break it down into SEO, the online digital world, and then you've got billboards, direct mail, radio, and then you've got your repeat business. So these are people, obviously friends, family, past clients is repeat business. Networking, if you go to BNI, if you go to chamber, the money spent on that, how much are you spending? And you can break out and allocate that here. And you can see online marketing on average about $5,400, $2,000 for offline, and $800. Again, you can adjust this, right? We can make it 30%, and then we got to make this 70%. Oops, nope, sorry, 60%. Oh, I put wrong one here, 50%. There we go. Nope. What am I doing wrong? There we go, 30%. And obviously that changes out the numbers here. So again, it's all depending on what you are comfortable with, where you feel you get the most ROI. I've talked with a lot of people that are looking to scale, that are not doing so well with those lead generation tools. And again, I'm a fan of having I don't like all my eggs in one basket. So if you're completely reliant on these tools that are these companies that just send you leads, most often they're not the most quality leads. You're competing against about 10 other people right at the same time because it's a little clickbaity. They're looking for a free estimate. They fill out the form and they go, oh yeah, you'll get an estimate soon. Now you're hit with 10 emails and phone calls from people giving you these free estimates. So just know, I say don't not use them, but just don't use them as the sole way of you getting marketing. Because the other side of this coin is they start raising rates. They start getting more people. You start going down the list. You don't own these leads. The brand is not yours any longer. They're not looking for you. They're looking for this lead generation company. So Move Buddha, all these other tools. So I just believe in trying them out. Are they working? And setting a proper budget, setting the ROI. So back over here, a little bit on the current landscape. Now, this is, and Trey, I was talking earlier, this is where I had spent a little bit of time looking up some of the statistics from 2023. I found a really great report on the moving industry itself. And I really liked that I was able to kind of get some data and numbers and see what's happening in the past and what they're forecasting for the future for the moving industry. So, and I think also what I like is I'm hearing people are coming to me struggling right now. And they think it's just them. They think they think that their lead generation, their website, the leads aren't working. It's not you. I think it's the landscape that they're in right now. We had a really good high after COVID. People were moving in 2021 and it continued on to 2022 and then 2023 it dropped. So
Sorry, just one thing to put in. I just saw this. A great tool I'm sure you probably use, Christina, is Google Trends. And I saw this guy look on the timeline of the Google Trends of like moving companies near me, moving something like along those lines. And it's crazy because you can see not only the seasonality of moving companies, but you can really see the drastic change in, what it was like, during COVID, before COVID, and then you could see from like the end of COVID to where we are now, there's been a sharp decline. So like you're saying, it's not us not doing our jobs, but it's just the nature of the
people just
economy
aren't
right now.
moving. Yeah. AI is affecting the marketing and operations as well. So if you haven't thought about how you're going to incorporate AI, now's the time to at least start investigating it. There's apps that are being built that you can use that you can give a self-service to people. They can record with their home and give an accurate measurement of what's in their each room. They're out there. But that's what's coming, is that virtual reality, that AI tool that'll help you generate estimates on the fly really quickly. So just know that the future, video, I believe, is the way to combat some AI marketing and content. Right now, I think AI is just, it's loaded up with millions of blogs and social media posts that people are just throwing out there with not really understanding what's happening. So my feeling is the more you can do video, and you guys actually at work, unloading, packing, loading, going downstairs, whatever that is, that helps combat that generic AI content out there. The other is a full service moving services. Is it's not just pack, load, unload, unpack. You've got junk removal, you got cleaning the house before and after. There's commercial and industrial size moves. So I think it's expanding what we consider a moving company. Another area is that home affordability has hit a historic low in 2021. I know we all know this. We hear it on the news constantly, and you can see the peak of the fixed year mortgage rate. So residential moves they're just not moving, and I don't see it happening in 2023 right now. Who knows? I'm not a predictor. I'm not a finance person, but to me, you look here, and then it just wow. So, and that's where I got the numbers. Happy, if you want to go look at it, New York Times and the Realtor website is where I got that data from. Why are people moving? This I thought was interesting, was retirement emerged as the top reason for moves. More and more people, obviously the baby boomers are getting to that age where they're starting to retire. So it was interesting to see that. And the reason why I'm sharing this, I like this, is when you look at marketing and who you're talking to, that's what this needs to be in your mind when you're creating content. And who are you going to target? So what I look at that at is I'm trying to find people over 60 and 5 and over that are in that mindset of the possible next move. They may not move now or 6 months, but next year, you might be the person that they think of because you've been targeting senior moves and retirement moves. So just interesting to see that, and not family residential moves, 30-year-olds that are moving. It's these guys. Other common reasons: new jobs. They're seeking affordable living arrangements, which in my mind means smaller apartments, smaller 2-3 bedroom residential homes. Another thing that I was looking at was that there's just not a lot of people, not a lot of office moves. They're moving out of the office. I don't know if you saw the latest stats on that, where nobody's going to work. I mean, there is empty office space everywhere.
Yeah,
so, sorry,
they had a
Ed.
stat. They had a stat that because I'm from New Jersey, New York, that the amount of office space in New York City is the equivalent of 38 Empire State Buildings. That's how much square space is
Jesus. Yeah.
being left.
There was a Facebook post recently about I'm in Houston, by the way, about some of the amount of empty space, and people are just leaving comments, and they're like, I am never going to commute again. I'm so much more productive at home. So, that it says a lot about what's going to happen with commercial and office space. Number of moving businesses in the U.S. steadily increased from 2018 to 2022, a little decrease in 2019, but the market size measured by revenue is 21.3 billion in 2023, is what they were seeing as a total revenue, the whole marketing, the moving industry. A little bit of a decline in 2023, but they say overall growth since 2018 is 0.7, so a little less than 1%. I would say that the biggest thing to look out for is artificial intelligence. I know we're getting rammed down our throats, ChatGPT, I get it, but it is going to affect your marketing and your operations. So start watching that and what's going to happen with how that works. And that right there, I'll have to, I forget where I find that. Did I make a note on that? Here. Yes. So this is a company called Yembo.ai. And again, I'm just always researching and what's happening. So this is visual inventory. JK Moving uses it apparently. I don't know. I've never used this tool. I have no idea if it works.
Yeah, there's another one called Live Switch that does the same sort of thing.
Live switch. Yeah. So, just as like in my world, it's constantly being changed. Practically every day is something new. I think this is what's happening with you guys. this is the future here.
Yeah.
The old way with spreadsheets and the new way. So just watch it. That's what's coming. And I would say the same thing with marketing as well. Just I'm good with the chat GPT. Again, I use it personally, but just be real careful with how you're using it. It's not perfect. I loved that somebody had a really great analogy of like chat GPT is like that little nerdy guy in high school, right? And he had these facts that he would just like kind of point out, but it wasn't always actual and real. It was like, why would
Yeah.
you say that? That's it. It just comes up with stuff. It's just not the most reliable. So just be real careful when you use it. And people are starting to see chat GPT social media posts. They can tell now. It's starting to get really obvious. This was industry revenue. So it looks like residential had a $4.6 billion overall revenue in 2023. And I got this from another website, and I'll have to share it with you guys later because I didn't put it down here. But this was a big monster report put together that just did the whole moving industry across the US. Businesses are less likely to need commercial moving services, and warehousing as well fell. And other services, packing, handling, and freight arrangement. So that's where this 3.1 billion is in here. But residential was obviously made up the biggest part of. So anyway, annual growth rate up to 2028 is like 1% during the outlook period, reaching 22.6 billion. So looks good to me. Forecasts to make up 72.2 revenue in that year of 2028. So I'm a numbers person, so data is my jam. All right, now the big marketing picture, and I want to talk a little bit about marketing channels and how you should be tapping into to maximize your lead count. So one area is, this is kind of how I look at it. There's three big chunks. Driving leads. There's one area where we send people to you through your website or paid ads or whatever it is, a networking function, a BNI meeting, however that is. Maximize those conversions. So yes, they might have heard of you, a friend referred you, whatever. But if we can't turn them into customers, that's part two problem. And then the third is optimizing the results. So it's just a constant reiteration of drive the leads, maximize conversion, optimize the results, and then start all over again. Driving leads is organic, paid, and the database of your clients. People forget to reach out to, if you've been in business for a while, you should have a cache of emails. You should be reaching out to those people minimally once a year, at minimum. I say once a month because you never know where their head is at, but always offering some kind of tip. You could be tips on definitely packing, moving, storage, but decluttering, prepping for a moves, whatever that is, and help just kind of stay top of mind. But that's that database. That's that area of driving leads that people forget and they put in the back corner and they don't touch it again. So even though you moved them 2 years ago, that doesn't mean they're not in the mood to move now. So again, one of those people that moved every 2-3 years. Maximize conversion. That's when people land on your website. They go to your Google business profile and they look at their reviews, and automation is that maximize conversion. We have an email drip system. Somebody requests an estimate. You need to send out follow-up emails. Here's the top moving tips in New York, the top moving tips in Miami, because everybody's different. Locales are different. Highways are different. Parking is different. So you take your locality, make it yours. And that's a tool that you can provide as that goodwill. You haven't signed them yet. They haven't signed the contract, but you're going to keep reminding them that you are the go-to moving company that they need to be thinking about all the time, because they are looking at 4 or 5 other moving companies. If you can be the one that showering them with affection during the dating process, you're opening up the door and you're sliding the chair and you're letting her sit down and, paying attention. That's where that maximized conversion comes from. Then they've signed the contract. Now we have another automation where we're getting them ready for the move. It's like in the feel good stuff, right? We're in the fiance mode, right? We've given the ring. Now we're going to have a little dance, and we're going to make sure you feel good, and you're going to love our company because we've educated you up to this point. We're getting you. Tomorrow's the move day. Here's the things you want to make sure you've done tomorrow. Make sure this is ready and that's ready. Now you've moved them in. We have another round of emails that get sent out. Okay, here's your housewarming gift that Ed and I talked about, right? The little brownies that you might get with a welcome to your new home. And then a year later, you send a follow-up. Hey, it's your anniversary, right? And then 370 days later, it's, hey, any friends moving? Right? It's just automation, maximizing all these people that have come through your door. You're going to continually have this relationship with them. And then optimize results is where we're tracking all this, which worked. Total spend, average cost per lead. How much is it costing me for every lead that comes through? People don't know what they're spending on paid ads. They just know they spent $2,000 last month. I don't know how many phone calls I get. I don't know how many forms I've filled out. I don't know. Do they come from paid ads? Do they come from a postcard I sent? I don't know. Then you figure out your return on investment. So this is what I meant. We're just constantly focusing on every one of these. Drive the leads, maximize, optimize, back again. It's just always looking at that. And I hate when that does that. Okay. Now back to this. This is just a little bit of my company. This is how I think of it is the foundation of the websites. Reputation management is number 2. Spend time getting those reviews, video, the 4 stars on Google Business Profile or BBB or Yahoo. I don't care where you get it, just get it. Well, Google specifically. Search solutions, SEO, paid ads, pay per leads, then expand your reach. You're out there. And if y'all want to see a really good social media campaign, check out Ed Top Notch Moving. Go to his Facebook page and his Instagram. He does great video. They talk to you, pictures. And Trey, here's one thing that I'm seeing too with a lot of different movers is they're afraid to show themselves. So have photos of you, your team. If there's somebody that's comfortable in front of the camera, just make sure that person's on social media. And just do as much as you can to build trust on social media. Marketing automation, I just talked about. Analysis and reporting goes back to just constantly reiterating what's working and what's not working, optimizing those results. Omnipresence is the goal here. Be everywhere. Your social media, your landing pages, your SERPs, which is the search engine results page, SERP. Where do you land on the SERPs? Where if I Google your company, what happens? I noticed when I Google like elite homes, elite movers, there's like 50 elite movers. So make sure you've distinguished yourself in some capacity, because what you don't want is if I Google Blue Ox Moving, there's 30 other Blue Ox movers. So in this case, this is just moving companies in Cyprus, moving storage in Houston, right? So you just want to be everywhere. Now, I'm going to ask you guys, where do you need to focus right now? We've gone through the numbers. We've gone through kind of a overall of marketing. I'm going to ask you, where do you think you need to focus your efforts right now?
Well, I could hop in. I mean, I'm kind of cheating because we already had this discussion, but similar to what Trey's saying, like our website and SEO, you can do as much social media as we do, and you can, have you go to your website and have everything steered towards your website. But if your website's not following Google's rules, or you don't have everything up to date, or your questionnaire is not easy to fill out, or you're not getting a phone number, it's
Mhm.
almost a waste of time, effort, and money. So, like you said in your slide, that's like the foundation is to have a good website. I mean, obviously, um, everything else kind of falls into place. So, that's what I would say.
Yeah, it just
Definitely
kind of
just updating
starts
the
with
website.
that. Yeah. And so Trey, you're saying SEO. Yeah, SEO is tough, and we'll get into it in a second, but SEO is changing a lot again with the AI and what we're seeing with Bard and all these search tools. It's just I'm not seeing search that helpful when it on these AI tools, and people are complaining that it just doesn't show me the information that I want to see. So we'll see. It'll be changing what SEO means in the next year or two, but that's my job. That's what I do. All right. So let's kind of look at setting some goals. How many leads do you need to achieve your revenue goals? And I'm sorry, I think I skipped over this before. We already talked about this. So if you've had a chance to look at this spreadsheet, I would love to know where you guys are at with, you don't have to tell me your revenue goals, but did you guys figure out how many leads that you need to get? I mean, we can figure that out now if you want. But and the reason why I'm bringing this up is that it does give you details and it helps you decide, am I going to hire somebody? Do I need to get a new truck, right? Do I need salesperson? Do I need salespeople? One of my bigger clients is his goal this year is to hire 2 more salespeople in-house. So, this is going to drive a lot of that is where you want to be in 2024.
For one of your bigger clients, Christina, like if you're trying to do $5 million and yeah, or
Mhm.
whatever the number was, like that's a lot of leads. So, what would you say is, a reasonable thing for us to go for? Um, because I think 208, I don't think we ever get that lead volume. I mean, we got it during COVID, but what's a realistic, for us, I could tell you as of right now, we have, but I think we were like you and I were talking that we're between 2 different platforms right now. So, we've gotten only 75 leads this month.
Mhm.
So it's like, to do $5 million, we need, 200 or I guess 23 leads a day, which is, almost a quarter
Yeah,
of
but you
what.
had a high conversion rate.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's 30% conversion rate. So let's just even bump it to 50%. It just
Yeah.
lowers the total amount. And then if you've got an average ticket value of $2,500, again, in Houston, that lowers it even more. So it just all depends. It depends on, and again, one of the things we talked about too is the scaling of the leads. There's just only so many of you to go around to join networking functions and to do chamber functions and like BNI and stuff. And I did BNI for 10 years. I was a BNI rep. I even started my own BNI. I get it. But there just came a point where I couldn't scale past that. I needed to go national. And with you guys as well, you've got your localities, but if you're going to BNIs, it's very, very centric. You have to drive. It's almost an all morning ordeal. So you have to think about if I'm only getting 150 leads and I'm because of all the networking I'm doing, in order to get to 300 leads, that's a whole other ball of wax. Now we got to start looking at paid ads, SEO, Google guaranteed, Google local service ads, that kind of stuff. What is it that's going to get me from 150 to 333? So again, it all starts with the revenue goals. I do have down here of all your costs. If you want to come up with some kind of cost per lead right now, like how many employees you have on average, what do you pay everybody? Which will calculate your average monthly value, number of contractors, all that. So that's all kind of in there. You can kind of play with the numbers. But to answer your question, I think it just depends on your conversion, which that helps too. Maybe your conversion's really low. That's where we go back to, what do I got to do to improve my conversions? Do I put some email automation? Do I have more phone calls? Do I have a better salesperson? All right. So your website's your hub. I'm going to go back. One thing I do want to stress, it is your hub. This is the central point where everybody's looking for you. Yes, they might come from a paid lead. It might come from a Google local service ads. I get it, but they are going to Google you. They're going to look you up. They're going to find you and they're going to see what the reviews look like. They're going to go to your website. And if it looks weird or you have, which I've seen AI generated images all over the place with a dude with 3 arms and a woman growing another leg out, which just obviously there's a trust factor there. I'm like, that's not even real. I've seen people, let's see if I found one recently that like, listen, it looks nice. It looks nice, but how many of you guys in New York wear red suspenders and blue pants, right? Or come down here, blue outfit. This is stock photos, and we know it looks like stock photos. Go out with your phone and take pictures. They don't have to be the highest level imagery. They can just take a picture of you guys, and it could be the back of their heads. It's fine. As long as they got their t-shirt with the logos on the back, it's fine. We just need to see the real company doing real work. This only goes so far, having stock images. It's great when you're just starting Maybe you got a WordPress.com or a Wix site, and that's all you have. I totally get it. I tell people if you're starting out in the moving industry, don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars. Get this set up, get a website, and then build from there. But that is, you just got to look at that. Want to make sure that you got all the criteria. Your phone number needs to be front and center at all times. And make sure it looks right on a mobile device. So if I go to your website on mobile, which is more than 50% of people are doing, does your mobile phone, does the phone disappear when I scroll? So what I've experienced is that number is your primary call to action. People fill out the form. I get it, but it's 10 o'clock at night. Now it's hard to reach them later. They've disappeared. They probably moved on to maybe the company that actually answered the phone at 10 o'clock at night. I don't know. So I would put the phone number front and center. That's the first thing, or a chat at the bottom right. So you can instantly have a conversation with somebody. I like this site. It's clean. And I love that there's just a picture of the guys. I just love that they're got their logos. It's such a great picture. And it's a clean site. It's got very clear. Now, what they're missing is the phone number. Like, I need to see the phone number, not call now. Because here's the thing. If I get this on a desktop, what's the phone number? I don't know. Unless I've got Google Voice, I can click that and it'll call, but I might want to call with my phone. So now scrolling it probably at the footer, but it's clean. It's very easy to understand. The navigation is nice. We've got some really great, it's got some really great photos. And what happened? There we go. So, just take some time to look at your website. Is it converting well? If you don't know, that's a problem. So you want to make sure you've got your analytics in there. You're looking at that. Where are people coming from? We have ways of adding code that I know when somebody clicks the call now or completes the form. Where did they do that? What did they do next? So this is where I want to look at conversions. So we have the website's a foundation. If they come to the website and they're not converting, this is a concern. So if we've got 100 leads a month with only a 5% conversion, no follow-up, we got one call. Well, if they didn't answer, oh well, move on to the next person. You're gonna have a real problem if you've got a 2,500 average move. That leaves you with $12,500. But if you've got a 25% conversion, so after they've come to your site, they made the call and they're interested, you sent them an estimate, you've converted them. Now we've got some automation kicked in. They're ready to book. We've improved our book jobs without getting more leads. So there's a two-step. How many leads are we getting? And then are we converting them? So website conversions, what do we got to do? This is another checklist. And I'm going to throw this into the chat. So if you're looking at your website right now, this is the checklist that you want to use when you're comparing what your website should be doing and how it should be functioning. It goes into SEO and paid ads, all of that. So feel free, download it. It's yours. So 12 critical elements. Speak to your target avatar. We talked about what's happening with the moving industry. Lots of retirement homes, lots of people retiring, lots of people moving for the smaller house or the house in Florida or warmer weather, whatever. But who are you speaking to? We actually do target avatars for some of our higher end clients where, we actually give you a picture of this person, right? Stay at home mom, making the family income of X, busy, maybe she's got a job, but usually from my experience, it's the women that typically call to set the move up. So who is that person that's calling you? And let's kind of imagine their background. So when you build this website, put that person in your head and talk to that person. Tell them that you're there to help them walk through this process. Maybe it's their first time. You're there to help. What are their fears? What are they afraid of? Use that. Be real with your audience. Just authentic images. Doesn't have to be overly produced. Pick up your phone, do some video, engaging different modalities. So YouTube videos are great, right? You can have a whole move and just piece together the beginning to the end and put that on your website. Throw that on social media. Create some shorts out of it, but it has to be you. or somebody that you trust. Website welcome. And that's something that's going to be hard. I don't like doing social media for clients. It's not authentic. You can send me some photos, you can send me some video, but if you guys can do this yourself or somebody in the office, I don't care if you hire a high schooler or a college person to come in part-time, few hours a week, that's all they do. They come in, they take pictures, do a little video, and they upload. That's better, honestly, than hiring a social media person, third-party contractor. When we do social media, it's more for an SEO perspective to do what's the word? To send out all of our blogs and content to get links back. So it's not the same purpose when you're trying to get social media work. But again, on the website itself, people see the same photo over and over again, and you lose the trust. You do. It looks like you put something together really quick. Videos of your moving service, have somebody explain, leverage social proof. So put onto your website, if you belong to Chambers, if you belong to Angie, if you belong, whatever, BBB, A+ rate, all those are trust factors. These are the things that people want to see, that you are engaged in the community, that you have been around enough, that you know everybody. Get the basics in order. No phone number in the upper right hand, not call us, the phone number. It needs to be clickable. Ensure there's a website form, easy to fill out. Add credibility, like I was saying, BBB, Angie's, Chambers. And redo this again. Ensure you have clear calls to action. Call now, fill out a form. If you scroll down, there might be download the ultimate checklist, because I want to start gathering emails that people are thinking about moving. Use special offers. I think now's the time to think about sending out mass emails to all your current and past clients on specials for February, March, and April. Get ready for the season coming up. Start targeting maybe the senior moves, right? So I think, Ed, you and I talked about this, having a relationship with senior homes, right? And building that with local homes in the area, that's what they do. They help people move in, possibly into storage part-time. And you're targeting, depending on the age, obviously, it could be the person moving or it could be the children. So, but anyway, special offers and coupons. You could do February. I love referrals, emails that send out that say, hey, hopefully your move was great. Here's 25 for you and 25 for the person that you refer us to, or 50 for the person you refer us to. Just share your name and we'll apply the discount. I think those work really well. Make sure your website's mobile optimized. Like I said, more than 50% actually are on mobile when they go to your site. I believe in live chat. I think somebody should be on that sucker all the time, looking at it and seeing who's on there, answering, giving estimates. It's just everyone's on their phone all the time, guys. Start giving clients the option to book online. We do a couple of our clients, well, one of our clients does virtual moves that we actually schedule that time automatically. They go to like a Calendly, create, we have a Zoom account connected, just like we do here. And they do a virtual estimate that way. So that's an idea. Site speed matters. So make sure it loads fast. Make sure you're engaging some SMS and phone marketing, like we talked about chat. If you've got a chat, you want to make sure that if you're not there, it's coming in through an SMS text. So if they leave, you still have the ability to communicate. Or not. I'm going to try a different method than this thing here. There we go. All right. So how's your website working for you? And when was the last time that you looked at your analytics? So we typically design any of our clients, we redesign it every 2 years. After 2 years, they're already starting to look dated. So we're already in the middle of redesigning our clients' websites. So we usually kind of do that in January, getting ready for the season to kick in. Do you have all the elements ready? Do you have your phone numbers visible? Request it. This is on every single page. It doesn't matter where I come from, because your homepage isn't the only page people go to. They might land on a service or a location page. This is what needs to show up at the top. And then again, real people, not everyone's a model. That's okay. It's perfect. This is wonderful. Just dudes in their shirt and their hats, and they're happy and they're ready to go. I just love this. Phone numbers visible. obviously the get a quote now is the number one. We got a chat on the bottom. I think if you scroll down, you got some reviews on here. So is it the most beautiful site in the world? Nope, but it works. So, and this isn't one of our sites. We didn't build this one. This one we did do, but always the About Us page. You'd be surprised how many people go to that page and people don't talk about themselves. Talk about the company, why you started it, your history, what makes you the person that should be running a moving company. So Joe here has a long history and he tells his story about why he started the business. He's very involved in the community. So he does softball games. He goes out and has a big bike giveaway. That's their charity of choice. So every year they have like a warehouse full of little bikes that they hand out to kids. And he has a big to do about it and that he's involved in the community. And we can see that. Video is helpful for sure. We did spend one day. We had a professional videographer come out and we just did a bunch of videos and we share that on the site. But that's been 3 years now. So I'm saying maybe do it again. Always have your reviews. They should be updated automatically. So if somebody leaves a review on Facebook or Google Business, it automatically gets added here. Get your quote, your chat. Make sure, and again, this is the phone, right? So this is a mobile version of the phone. And that little button is on the bottom of every page. So as I scroll or change pages, that button is always there because I'm always wanting to people to do that. This is just some stats. 3 out of 5 customers search for local businesses on their smartphone, and 40% of mobile consumers turned on the competitor's site after a bad mobile web experience. So just take a moment, go to your website right now, look it up on your phone. Does it have the phone number? No matter if I scroll, is it easy for me to call you? Does it show real photos, real people? And this is, again, it's the same checklist. I'm not going to go through all that. Now, let me ask you, what's something that you might do to make some of these changes?
I mean, definitely for us was the call to action with the number.
Mm-hmm.
Ours disappears while we when you scroll on ours.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think, like you were saying, you don't realize how important or how optimized your website is for the mobile.
Mm-hmm.
My generation is we're only on our phones, so it's something that you don't think about when you're on a website. You don't think about the mobile side of it. So that's definitely whether it's the search speed, the call to action, the automated chat. I think you have to have a good um domain, like whether it's GoDaddy, Wix, WordPress, whatever. Have to probably pick a powerful one because you saw ours. Wix is great in certain areas and it
Mm-hmm.
lacks in others. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
definitely the call to action or phone number is the most important for us to do going forward.
I agree. Yeah. We're getting, it's like 50 minutes, typical for me, but I just want to kind of bring up all the different ways to be proactive with your lead generation, trying to get more leads into your area of expertise here. So you can pick a few here. Definitely, I think a good mix. I think you need to be involved in the community. I'm a member of the local chamber. I go to the events, I go to the webinars or the seminars. I like to be around others. And right. So SEO for sure. I think that's really, really important, is building on that and what that means. So strong service copy. People forget to have individual pages for every service that you do. Make sure that you're doing a little bit of content updating. Don't just build the site and leave it alone. I do recommend a little bit of Google ads for sure. Facebook ads are complicated, but every now and then boost a post at minimum, put 20, $50, boost a post, choose the right locations. I think that's the way to scale. If you're trying to get 100, if you got 50 leads, you're trying to get to 100, this is just one way. You're going to have to spend a little bit of money. You can guerrilla market it for sure. You can learn how to do Google ads yourself. It's difficult. I can tip number 1, if you're going to do Google ads yourself, do not listen to the Google reps. Their job is to make money, and they will just do you wrong. Just gut instinct, watch a few YouTube videos, get an understanding. One thing I can tell you, and I told Ed this earlier, have a landing page. If you're going to have a Google ad about partial packing or full packing services, send them to the full packing landing page. So create a special page for it, because that's what people were looking for when they saw your ad. and it helps with the cost per click. Well, it'll help. Google's going to notice that, oh, the ad matches the query and the landing page matches the query. So just that's it. Landing page, don't listen to Google reps. I retargeting, definitely some direct mail, repeat referrals and referrals. So always go back to your clients. Does SEO still matter? Absolutely. It's changing. You can notice here, I've got 71% of the clicks on a landing page is the map, right? Now we've got an ad and we have the Google guarantee. So this is just getting pushed further and further down, but it still does matter. And SEO includes the Google local map, as well as what we see organically in the bottom here. So if I do a search for Houston moving and storage, we start at the top. These are all the sponsored ads, the Google guaranteed, and which, by the way, if you're going to do that, check it daily. You want to dispute whatever lead didn't work. Then we have sponsored ads. Looks like we've got one on this side. And now we get into 1, 2, and 3. So these are the top 3 organic. And these guys are spending millions to be here. So don't look at them and go, why can't, because they're spending millions of dollars to be here. Just know that. Yelp too. Then we go down into our places. So we've got, and I'm in Sugar Land right now. So Houston, I'm down over in this area down in here. So that's why it's kind of showing me some of those here. And now we've got another set of Google. So it does pay. If you show up for this phrase, you can tell somebody is paying good money for that phrase. So you organically showing up, imagine the cost. It's probably about a $25 a click for that cost or less, maybe depending, again, could be 10 per click. Well, that means that's your cost here to show up on the organic. It is changing though. Just something we got to watch again with the AI kicking in. I don't know. So do you show up? So these are just all the optimization that you're going to want to make sure is set up. This is a little bit more advanced, guys. Again, it's in that checklist, but there's a lot of content you got to build out, headers and meta titles and H1s, there's a lot that goes on when building an optimized website. And for us, that's our core. We build a site that has all of this ready to go. Then if you need other stuff, we do the rest of it. But this is where we start here. So if you've got a really bad website, I'm going to tell you point blank, we're going to start and build you a new site because I can't work off of stuff. I had somebody come to me and he wanted paid ads, but he had a 1-page website. And he goes, well, I just need you to do the paid ads. Well, the paid ads aren't going to work. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to do paid ads for you and start from a failing standpoint. I have to build you a proper website with proper landing pages. Otherwise, it is a moot point. So just make sure you've got all the basic stuff on here. Is it optimized? I'm not going to go through all the data in here. Again, you'll have the spread. You'll have all this. I'll send you it. Are you ranking on Google? Now, again, another link for you guys. These are all of the keywords to look for in your city, movers near me, moving company, whatever city you're at or wherever you want to show up for. I did a whole research. So this actually has all the links or all the research I did. And this is average monthly searches, right? Keyword, and then you add your city. So I did now also negative keywords too. So these are for paid ads. If you're going to do your own paid ads, make sure you have negative keywords. So if you're in New York, make sure California, Texas, Florida are negative keywords. Even though you might have or geotagged yourself that I only want leads around here, you'd be surprised. So this is kind of starting point here. This is, again, average searches per month. So movers near me is the biggest one. That's where you'll notice people spend the most time on that key phrase. All right. Now, where are you guys going to focus on your lead generation? Which one? You're welcome, Troy.
We kind of had this discussion. So for us, where we are in Hackensack, we are pretty high on Google, but I think what we need to do is do more like the retargeting, some of the stuff that you were saying before.
Hmm.
The more that it let me marinate in my head, I was like, there's a lot of ways that you can, you know, go after a customer and not really, once you have a set, radius and you're optimized, there are other ways instead of trying to bid up on these Google ads that you can do. And I think like retargeting is a great one, or the Facebook ads or the Google ads. You and I had this discussion earlier. It's like, um, the quality of the leads need to be worth spending, I guess,
Hmm.
for any mover. So, I
Yeah.
think maybe for us would be more of like retargeting because we already have, people coming to our website. And, obviously if we update it and do some smaller things, maybe more leads come in. If we can retarget them, they're already coming to our website. So why, in my mind, it'd be more cost efficient to go after those that people that came to our website.
Right. I agree. Oh, I'll warn you though. Oh, Trey, you've been getting killed on Google Ads. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, you're gonna get hit pretty hard with that. Just oh, that sucks. Yeah, those negative keywords are crucial. So we have I think I don't know if I added it. Maybe I need to add more in here. So we'll add things like yeah, jobs, hiring, salary are negative keywords, people looking for jobs. You can also use, it's a little bit of a setup, but what's the name of it that we call a click cease. So um, it's a tool that you can connect, and we do this with all our clients. It's just part of the program. It helps people when people are using like what's the word when they fake their IP address? The virtual setup, so that it
Yeah,
looks like they're in your
VPNs.
yeah, yeah, VPNs. Thank you. So we use this tool, but also just make sure we will also inside Google Ads. So we'll include, say, Houston, right? And maybe a 5 mile radius. I will manually go in and exclude everything else. Even though I told Google I only want these, if I exclude every other country, then even every other state, it does help with that spam. It doesn't cut it, but it does help. So try and add more negative keywords, negative localities, Russia, China, whatever, South America, all of it, just all of it. Just pick them all. Boop, 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 boop. Get them all. And then include other cheap, affordable, free. Another one, it would be what's the company? Oh, they do ads. They're really old. Why can't I think of it? We just did a whole blog post on it too. Shoot, hold on. I just call it Craigslist.
Kind of like all the
Craigslist.
van lines.
Craigslist. Well,
Oh,
and that too, you could have another list of competitors. Some people actually
well,
target competitors, just
well,
kind of,
my problem is like pods. People are thinking we're pods.
oh, yeah, then start excluding those key phrases.
But
Okay,
like you said,
sorry.
it's a good opportunity for us to poach, not poach, but to position
No.
ourselves to
Mm-hmm.
to win the business.
Mm-hmm. You're not the only one. So if your competitors are doing it, sure. I would also think about more negatives in there. Jobs, competitors, and it just popped in my head. Now it's gone again. But if you are looking at your list of keywords, they're in there. There should be a way to see how people found you. So one thing is broad match. Do not use broad match. That's what the Google reps are going to try and convince you, because they're going to try and convince you that, oh, broad match, you'll get way more clicks. Yes, but they're not the right kind of clicks. So always use phrase match, which means like here, this is a phrase, keyword phrase. And let's just say I put U-Haul in here. Now, I would have a negative for U-Haul. My ad wouldn't show. You can see there's no ads in here for the U-Haul because nobody wants to show up. That's somebody that's looking to do their own move. So
Yeah.
U-Haul is a phrase we would put as a negative. Now, if I did this and put this in phrases, this is a phrase match, and then adding U-Haul changes the scope. a little bit more. So now I've got Chamber of Commerce and all that. But if I did, this is exact match, Houston Moving Storage. I'm telling Google, I only want people that have this specifically in this order, that phrase. Now you can see that, the sponsored ads are kind of gone, but there's my client Blue Ox, right? Roadrunner. But phrase match is what you want. Generic, general, I could put anything I want in here, shoes, and your ad would show. So don't do that. Phrase match. Okay, moving on. All right. So Trey, you're saying, Trey, if you don't mind, where are you? What state are you in? Oh, okay. Have we talked before? Trey? Yeah, we have.
We haven't talked. How you doing?
Hey.
What's up, Tati? What's up, Ed? How you doing?
Hey,
We haven't
good.
spoke, but I think I've signed up before. I've missed
Okay.
a webinar before.
Yeah, because that company, I'm like, that website sounds familiar. All right, we just talked about paid moving ads. So I do like having the Google Guarantee. One thing about it is that it does force you to go through that process of confirming your insurance and all that. So I believe most people are coming here. It's a great tool. It's just you have to be on it every day. You got to look in and dispute people that didn't, hey, I'm looking for a job, right? You immediate dispute. So save some money. And again, that checklist, it's all in there. Other opportunities, again, these are the pay per click, which is similar to the Google Guarantee. But again, this is, Angie's, Yelp, moving.com, Moving Leads, there's so many of them. If you're going to do it, just be careful. Put that in your budget, like give yourself a percentage of money that you're going to allow yourself, and then see if it's working or not. Again, Google local service ads. I do like the idea of personalizing as much as you can. I just want people in there. I want you, your team, your office, your sales, the movers, the drivers. I need them on here. It's really important because I'm fighting against AI and I'm fighting against stock photos. So I just want to really push that, especially on social media. People are saying, do I need to be on Facebook, Instagram? Yes, you do. You need to be on there regularly, 4 or 5 a week if you can. We help augment that with the blogs, but people want to see your face. And you can do some email marketing. We have a tool ourselves that we kick all this stuff off for you. We do connect to Smart Moving. So Smart Moving is your operational CRM. The tool we use is MovingUp.pro, and that is a marketing CRM. So the leads come in through the Moving Up app, and then we send them over to Smart Moving. But Smart Moving doesn't have email marketing. It's got a way for you to send an email and estimates and all that. But when it comes to a long journey of a client, I need to build that in. And what I talked about earlier of the new leads, the leads that are thinking about signing, that signed, and then afterward, that's what all this does. Hi, Sarah. Looks like it's been a year since your move, right? All that can get kicked in. Direct mail. I like direct mail. You just have to get the right addresses and names. We do offer a tool that's a remarketing postcard. If they come to your site and I can track them and get their name and their address, if they go to certain pages and they're in a specific geographic region, I can send them an automatic postcard. So it kind of looks like this. Usually it's got a QR code and the phone numbers everywhere, but I can track that. So on average, it's about $1 per postcard, which to me is cheap. So we'll send out maybe 100 a month. It takes a while because if your site's new, you won't get as many people, but over time it starts growing and growing. We started off with 50 with one on, now we're at 100. And again, it's all about top of mind, 7 touches. They called, they saw your ad, they got your postcard, you maybe called them back, they got an email from you, a retargeted ad, and a friend. 7 times. Then they'll make that decision. Might be less. Sometimes that's great, but do look at options for direct mail. We're just trying to get visibility. More repeat business, more referrals. Don't forget all these people that you've met over the years, all the clients, they're there waiting for you to market to them again. They're waiting for you. They want you. You did a great job for them. They don't want to go anywhere else. Remind them of that. Every once in a while, send that email to them, remind them that you're still around and ready to do it. So we are past my hour. Tried to do it faster, but it didn't work. Just, oh gosh, we have a whole other section there. Leads versus conversion. We've already done this. I can say that 50 to 60% of inbound leads are left unconverted. So if you get a form, call them immediately. You got 5 to 10 minutes. You can't wait a day. They do it on a Sunday afternoon, have some automatic way of replying very quickly. And how fast do you return calls? That's something you want to track, and responding in the weekend. So again, 15 minutes, after 15 minutes, they go cold. And that's why the forms, I don't really like the forms anymore. I want them to call you. 2% of all sales are made during the first point of contact. If you don't follow up, that's almost 98 of your sales. So that's that conversion side that I can send you leads, but if you can't convert them, you got a bigger problem. Leverage of marketing automation. So if it's a Saturday at 10 o'clock and you don't have a service answering the phone, have a system set up that says, hey, we're not here right now. And then you can do a text message immediately right back. We'll get with you first thing Monday morning or something, whatever you want to say. But it's just constant touch with them. And again, that conversion is really, really, really important. Your salesperson needs to stay up to par with what's going on. The hard thing I have with the salespeople is that they don't go back and move people through the customer journey of booked move, completed move, so we can get those out. So it just has to be part of that process. I recommend having a VA or an assistant that can come in and kind of help track this stuff and let the salesperson answer the calls and do the estimates and all that stuff. They shouldn't be doing the little work like that. Tracking your ROI, that's when we have analytics installed. What we do is we spend a lot of time setting up tracking. I need to know where they came from, what they did, how long they stayed, did they fill out the form? All of that needs to happen. We have tracking phone numbers. We can listen to the calls. All of that needs to be, otherwise I can't give you ROI. If I can't give you data, then what's the point? Period. So we've just got different dashboards in there. So we can see how many are open, right? How many opportunities, conversion rate is 54%. This is just one of the dashboards that we have. So I like to look at these numbers here, and we'll share this. I've got other dashboards that we do. Again, drive the leads, maximize conversions, optimize the results, and just staying ahead. So right now, key tools, CRM systems. If next level at this point, I think, Ed, you talked about you just got set up with an operational CRM. Is that Smart Moving?
Yeah.
So now it's the marketing CRM that we got to set up, but you need some kind of reporting tool, because even with the Smart Moving, it's a really great tool. It's going to give you all kinds of great data, but I need to know from the lead side. Social media management, there's all kinds of tools. Paid ad management software is out there as well. So there's a lot of tools that you can use to help you with this. One of the tools that I like for SEO is there's SEMrush is one. They're a little expensive, but it does give you really, really great data. You can come in here and look at traffic analytics and, what's happening with your site. You can look at all kinds, I can put a website in here and find out like a competitor site and get some data about them. So, but yeah, there's a lot of tools out there. I'm happy to share that with you if you ever want me to just kind of what we use. And yeah, this is just my big thing right now. People are confusing operational CRMs with marketing CRMs. So operational, sales, service, contact, marketing, lead management, email marketing, analytics, and reporting. So those are the two big differences, but you need both for sure. The marketing CRM isn't going to send estimates. It's not going to track your drivers. It's not going to send out notices that the driver's late. That's your operational. That's something like Smart Moving. That checklist I sent you looks like this. There's a lot, so just go through it. And all right, and that's kind of it, guys. I just, one thing you're going to walk away with, one thing that you're like, this is what I'm going to do when I'm off the phone.
Tough question there, because you threw a lot of good stuff at us. I think for us, like, we already had our conversation, so we're gonna try and really figure out better ways for us because we had like today, we got like 6 or 7 calls just from our Google. Um, but we're not on Facebook, we're not retargeting people. We don't have a CRM, like a marketing CRM. So like those are powerful tools, like you said, that those are people that we've moved already. So like, in our smart move, we've been in business 5 years, like we've done over 5,000 moves. Like I'm sure if 1% of them, we
Yep.
reach back out to them, they have a family friend or something, they're like, oh, it's
Mhm.
just a simple tool that,
God,
we really
imagine
have
if
to get
5,000, if just 5% of 5,000 called
yeah,
you, it's just opportunity just waiting. I mean, to me, that's something like you could implement that by Monday, you know?
right. That's what I'm saying. Like we don't have, I think Trey wrote it. He's like, we only have smart moving and,
Mm,
we only think about running the business operationally wise to make sure,
yeah.
trucks go out, customers are called,
Yeah.
the nitty gritty of a moving business. But, there's a whole other level that you have brought to light. So I appreciate it. And to be honest, I have to go.
Yeah.
Christina,
Me
thank you
too. I
so
got to
much.
pick up my daughter.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you
But
guys. I
thank you.
appreciate
Good
it.
seeing you guys. I will reach out to you, Christina, to
Yeah,
see
that would be great.
what we can get. I really appreciate your time, man.
Oh, I'm glad you guys showed up.
All
I
right,
really love this time with you guys. So appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
absolutely. Thank you. All
Appreciate
right,
it.
you have a
Bye.
good night. Take it easy. Ed.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.